this is a question that's admissible or not, but maybe for the next, we have the $25 million that could be utilized for some things, and we haven't made any decisions. So how could we go about having the board get enough information about the needs of our community to begin to allocate some of those funds to be utilized wisely?
I think that's a very valid question, and right now we're already going through our budgeting process. So typically we bring that, it's a list of MTW funding to the board every April-May timeframe, and then it's approved in June by the board. So there's ample opportunity to have discussion about that. The $25 million from last year has actually grown some more.
Yes, I knew that.
So what we'll do is have Diana, the CFO, project how much we think there'll be at the end of this budget year in June, so that we can have a discussion around that. Obviously, at the top of our minds is our commitment to Alazan and how much cash we're going to need there. But we do have sufficient cash to do other things. That's the cash we used in the past for the Wi-Fi, for example.
Yes.
So there's other things we can do with it. We have the flexibility, since we're an MTW agency and we're block granted, we have the flexibility to move that money around.
But then we'd have to be cautious that, say, Alazan, in a year from now, they come to an agreement or they come to a consensus on how we can proceed, and then we find out we don't have enough money. So
Right.
if we spend it now we don't have enough money to do the
Right.
plan, and
Well,
it would
but
only
I
cost
mean-
us more later.
Right, so that's
why we
the
save it.
balance, that's the
Yeah.
balance that we have. How much do we hold for example, redevelopment of Alazan or Lincoln versus spend currently?
Yes, because with the Alazan redevelopment, we plan to go to the city for,
Yeah, but at best case, you're looking at 75 to 90 million, and the city's already said you're not getting all of it.
well, but I think that we need to look at the way that we have funded other housing rehabilitation. Because what we don't want to do is, if we have the ability to borrow, and to borrow at a very good rate, okay? We don't want to lose the opportunity to make a difference with some of the money that we may have in cash. And so I don't see us holding that for Alazan, especially if we can borrow at a very good rate.
So for public housing, we're not allowed by HUD rules to borrow for the property, so we cannot put any debt on public housing.
So how
that's
have we done it before?
So Victoria Plaza is the largest one we've done.
Okay.
And it is a total cost of about $21 million.
Okay.
And we paid for that. So that's 180 units. That's $21 million. We took a tour of it the other day, some of us did. And it's almost ready to open. We're waiting on some supply chain issues
Okay.
to finish up.
But that was paid for.
It's paid for. We
We did-
used our,
But where did that money come from?
from this same bucket of money we're talking about.
Okay, so where we are accomplishing savings, we're putting it towards
Housing.
housing. Okay,
Then savings
Okay.
and/or income, which, again, when we do certain deals that, with partnerships, whether it be through the ones that Tim has brought, and we made monies, they've allocated a portion of those monies that we've made that have all gone to this bucket. That's why it keeps growing. And then we've used that for certain other things. So that's why those partnerships still work, because it gives us money to do these things
these
later.
things, yes, but,
But because we can't borrow.
yeah. But I would hate I would hate to lose monies that can make a difference in many of the housing areas. I would hate that. And so I think that what we need to do is we need to project out in the next 5 years. What are the expenditures that we should be incurring in improving the housing that we already have?
Right.
And what methodology do we have in order to get those funds?
Right.
Because losing the ability to affect many of the housings. For example, I think that we should look at all of our housing and see if where children live, if that housing is amenable for a place for children. Do we have a playground? Do we have fences where they should be? Do we have things to make the children safe? I think that should be a high priority for all of our housing, and and that monies would seem to me that would be very well allocated in that manner.
Let me jump in, because this sounds like a good, meaty policy discussion that probably deserves its own agenda item, so you can get into it.
Okay.
It's always okay to ask for informational questions, like how much did we pay for this thing, and then you get that information. But the more you feel like you want to get into, should
Okay.
we do this or do that, I would suggest then that we just put it on an agenda to get into, to permit you to really get into the meat of this. And certainly in preparation for that discussion, you could forward discussion points or issues that you each individually have, so that those can be perhaps addressed again.
Right, exactly.
Again, I'd like
Yeah.
right now, how much in deferred maintenance do we have across all our properties?
Oh,
That's $500
millions.
million.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
millions.
No, right now, it's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, so.
Yeah, and so that, we need to have some ability to fulfill the needs that, in our estimation, would make a difference to our tenants.
So we can assemble more data and have the discussion. I think ideally as part of our budgeting process, because we're talking globally about funding. So that'll be in the next 60 to 90 days that
Perfect.
we can do that.
That'd be perfect. Any other concerns or questions or anything?
No, I think that'll tie also to the balance conversation, right, of how much are we trying to generate versus, because the trade-off then is, affordable housing units with the deals, so those guardrails will help us know how we're meeting our goals in both those areas, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All
Thank you
right.
so much.
So
Make a
we're-
motion to adjourn?
we stand adjourned.
I second. Meeting
We
adjourned.
stand adjourned.
Were we live?
Yes, yes, you were live.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah,
stop recording
We were in
now.
the meeting. We were in the meeting. All right.
Recording